everybody, and welcome to Frauenfeld. It's round 17 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. This is the MXGP of Switzerland, presented by iXS. My name's Paul Malin. Thanks for joining us once again for the latest instalment of the FIM Motocross World Championship. We've been coming to Switzerland since 1957, believe it or not. There have been 93 winners since then. Just two Swiss winners over the years, Mark Ristori in 2006, winning in the MX3 category at Roggenburg, and Julian Bill 4 years later in the same category at Geneva. But this weekend it's MXGP, it's MX2. MX2 race 1 is up next in just a few minutes. The rain has dispersed, but we do have a different racetrack to what we had yesterday in the Ram qualifying races. I wish it was a warm welcome here to Frauenfeld. That patch of grass there in the trees on the hillside just behind the start area, that's where Eric Gabors was first victorious back in 1981 on a 125 Suzuki, going 4-3 for the overall Grand Prix victory that day, ahead of Mark Velkeniers and Alain Lejeune. Michele Rinaldi, the first race winner there, before he DNS'd the second one. But the racetrack here, completely different. It's the third reincarnation of this racetrack in Frauenfeld. Back in 16 and 17, we were down at the bottom of the hill, close to the paddock, about 2 kilometres away from here. But we're close to 500 metres altitude here, so a little bit misty and drizzly today. It's a hard-packed dirt surface, very clay-like. So yesterday we had a lot of hard, slick areas. It was a lot of loose stones on top as well. But today, it's heavy, it's sticky, it's claggy. You see the work going on to the next to the start straight there on the run up towards the Monster Energy finish line. And yeah, trying their best to open up as much track as possible on the run up, because that is coming out of turn 1 through the chicane that is right-left. Anyway, let's take a look at the circuit in more detail. Week, the GoPro track preview coming from the 67 Racing Husqvarna of Kevin Brumman, the Swiss rider who lives about 30-40 minutes away from here. It's a new start straight this year. It used to go downhill left 180 and then up towards the finish line. Now, as you can see, it's downhill 60 metres from the gate to the first turn. Just starts to fall away here, and then it tightens up through that right-hander, over the Foxhole shot line, and then this is where we're going to get pinched, through this right-left chicane, on the run towards the Monster Energy finish line jump just here. Big grandstand out there to the right-hand side. Then we go turn 4 through the left-hander. 2 waves there to the inside, maybe 3. And as we get on the gas, this is now going to be a lot stickier, a lot ruttier. And this part of the racetrack, over the liquid molly jump in MX2, you'll see this in the race qualifying highlights in a minute. Really caught out one of our star players yesterday. Coming back in the opposite direction, and as we come out of this turn here, turn 6, this right-hander, intermediate split around about now. So from the finish line to here is sector 1. And as we get on the gas, a short straight into the Monster Energy jump, very short, 15 metres, something like that. And then we kink right and then left, and then this is turn 8, the left-hander, down the back straight through a series of 7 waves, 250 metres from start to finish before we hit the ram jump midway through. And as we get hard on the brakes here at the end of the straight, turn 9, that is now sector 2 done with. We are now in sector 3 through this right-hander, doubling up on here, using the wall turn, and then stepping down again. That's quite short. It's very easy to jump and land flat there, and if it's boggy like it will be today, you over jump, you're going to grab the foot pegs and maybe even sort of tweak those wrists and ankles, and maybe coming out of there a little bit high pitched. Through the little right left, over Monster Energy Mountain again, about 12 metres or so, and as we turn right through here, and then over the city jump, that is the next sector. We're into the final sector now, sector 4. We go left, right, down past pit lane, into turn 17, this left-hander. And again, because we've got a newly configured start straight area, we used to have this double apex right, left, but then we used to sort of open up around about now and head towards the finish. Now we re-emerge here in turn 1, over the Foxhole shot line, back through the chicane, over the Monster Energy finish line jump, and that is a lap here at Frauenfeld. A little quieter today than it was yesterday, but I'm sure their spirits are not dampened one bit. There's a few Swiss here to support as well, but before we go anywhere else, Lisa Leyland was down on the grid a few moments ago, and she caught up with a couple of riders. Our Ram qualifying race winner from yesterday on the Nistan Husqvarna, Lucas Kuhnen, who's second in the championship. Before that, though, a rider making his return from injury from Monster Energy Yamaha, Thibault Benistant.
We are almost ready for the very first MX2 race of the day, and I want to speak to a rider that we haven't seen really racing since his home GP in France. It's Monster Energy Yamaha MX2 rider Thibault Benistant. Thibault, you made your comeback to racing. Qualifying yesterday, you were 9th. Firstly, what do you think of that result in the Ram qualifying race, and how are you feeling after it?
Yeah, of course, I'm happy to be back. It was quite a long time out. Not easy to come back for sure. The qualifying was okay. I mean, I was a bit tight behind my teammate and then make a small crash. But in general, I had quite some good feelings, so I think with a good start, the day can be quite okay.
Because you actually won the overall here last year, didn't you? Was that part of your thought process, thinking, do you know what, I'll make a comeback on a track that I know that I'm strong at?
No, it wasn't exactly the plan, but I was just almost ready, let's say. I had a bit of riding, so I was like, okay, it's a track with good dirt, and I enjoy it also a lot. I start to feel good on the bike, so I say, okay, let's just give it a try.
Well, it's great to have you back, Thibault. Best of luck. Thank you. Let's grab a few words now with Nestan Husqvarna factory MX2 rider Lucas Koenen. Lucas, you won the Ram qualifying race here yesterday. You were looking strong. Totally different racetrack today.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of rain this night, so the track is quite muddy. But let's see with the work they did. Hope the track is going to be fun, and then just stay on two wheels. That's the main goal, and get a good start, and then just do our own race and try to do the same as yesterday.
Because you also won the overall in France, another hard pack track, another wet, muddy race. But the terrain in France was different to this hard pack, wasn't it?
Yeah, because this one they repeat yesterday, so it's quite deep, and yeah, I mean for everybody the same. So it's going to be a good race. So we will see.
Best of luck. Thank you, Lucas. Okay, it's time for MX2 Race 1.
Lucas Koenen aus Overijse Brussel ist Logiesgang 18 Jahre alt. It is for us.
Well, a few moments ago, we had the official presentation to welcome everybody here to the MXGP of Switzerland, presented by iXS, of course. Look at all the dignitaries up there on the podium area. Jorge Villegas here, of course, the FIM president, saying a few words. And we just had David Luongo, CEO of Infront Motor Racing, of course. And then our MXGP organizer here, good old Willie. So welcoming everybody here, despite the weather, and basically saying have a good time and enjoy this Grand Prix this weekend. Round 17 about to get underway here at Frauenfeld. The rain has dispersed. Umbrellas have been put away. And if you missed it yesterday, here's what happened in the MX2 Ram qualifying race, all 14 laps of it, in a nutshell. The gate dropped. One or two riders got caught out. But as we charge through the first few corners here, the main favourites up the inside, Mikkel Hart, one of the riders getting caught out there on the left, but everyone else looking around thinking, wow, where did everybody go? Anyway, they charge downhill into that start straight. Look at the stones there as they roll down into that first turn, 60 metres away from behind the gate. Zanke, one of the riders there, getting caught as well, the number 73. But as they started to work their way through, this was McClellan. Or maybe even Harrop, actually, making his way through. This Liqui Moly jump would be the scene of something towards the end of the race, 2 or 3 laps to go, maybe even on the final lap, but he was just there tucked in behind the 44 of Rick Elzinga. 198 wasn't too far away either, but on the opening lap here, as 96 Lucas Koenen led the way, Adamo quickly got past for third, found his way into third. Then Everts, his teammate, capitalised on a mistake as he moved into fourth position because Langenfelder was just ahead of him as well. Came out of nowhere. But Harrop on the charge, found his way onto the rear wheel of Thibault Benistant. This was for 7th place just after the halfway mark. Benistant eventually came home in 9th place, but it was Lucas Koenen leading the way from Guy de Wolf, Simon Langenfelder. But these two just starting to disappear, and they were no further apart than this. Look how dry the track was, loose in places, but hard, slick. Those ruts were hard and natchery. But final lap down here, watch this. Not sure if it's because of back markers and having to take another line, but Kai de Wolf launched himself down the track whilst challenging Lucas Koenen. Both of them were heading for their 7th Ram qualifying win. In the end, it was Koenen who hung on to take his 7th Ram win of the season, his 7th pole position from Kai de Wolf and Simon Langenfelder.
Und Thibault genannt von seinen Fans, war ja letztes Jahr schon.
Should we take a look at the championship standings then before we go anywhere else? Here's how they stand then. Well, before the first Ram qualifying race, or the first race of the weekend, Kai de Wolf was 44 points clear of his teammate, with Langenfelder 57 further back. But heading into race 1, de Wolf now 43 points ahead of Lucas Koenen because of the points-paying races in that Ram qualifying race. Langenfelder now 59 behind the Belgian in 3rd. Liam Everts 41 further back, and then we've got Adamo rounding out the top 5. Harup just 4 behind the Italian. Those two switching positions last time out in where were we? The Netherlands. But it was a whole shot for Lucas Koenen in that Ram qualifying race. And you see the conditions of the track now. Here's how the riders line up. Lucas Koenen on pole for the 7th time this year, ahead of his Nissan Husqvarna teammate Kai de Wolf. Langenfelder for Red Bull Gas goes to line 3rd. The 2 Red Bull KTMs of Everts and Adamo line up 4th and 5th, ahead of the Monster Energy Triumph of Harup. And 2 Monster Energy Yamahas, Elzinger and Racialis, and they're joined by their teammate this weekend, back from injury, Thibault Benistant, who will go to the line 9th, with Camden McClellan lining up 10th. Then we've got Frucho Zanchi, Oriol Oliver, Quentin Prunier, Sasha Koenen, David Braceras, and Jens Wolford. With Jack Chambers returning to where his MX2 career began. It was round 3 last year. Federico Tuani, Emil Weckman and Arvid Lerning and the rest. There'll be 30 riders lining up today. Championship leader, Kai de Wolf, Nissan Husqvarna Factory Racing, 43 points clear of his teammate Lucas Koenen, but you can see the foam built up around the helmet there and around the chin guards to help deflect the mud that may stick in a normal scenario, but interesting to see Koenen not going for that option. So some might say because of where that foam starts to protrude above the side of the chin bar there, but just in the eye line, maybe it's like a frustrating little thing to have there. But a lot of riders do pad the top of the helmet just to allow it to bounce off, because there's nothing worse than having that mud on the top of your helmet and then weighing the helmet down, pulling the helmet over your eyebrows to the point where you have to lift your neck then and strain the neck muscles throughout the race. Liam Everts goes to line in 4th place ahead of his teammate Andrea Adamo, but Lucas Koenen, Kai de Wolf, they're the guys on pole. Andrea Adamo, he goes to line in 5th. He's taken over 5th again in the championship, only by 3 points, so coming into this weekend over Mikkel Harup. Those two now separated by 4 points because they finished 1 place apart. And Mikkel Harup from Monster Energy Triumph, he'll be hoping for a better start this time around in this MX2 Race 1. Trying to G himself up. Look, lap times are going to be considerably slower than they were yesterday. In the qualifying race, it was fastest lap for Kai de Wolf, 140.704. In the warm-up session today, we were in the 158s with Carlos Racialis taking the fastest time in the warm-up session. Heavy, sticky circuit after night rain. After rain fell through the night from about midnight to about 9:30 this morning, and we had a bit more rain a short while ago as well, but that's gone, hopefully for the rest of the day. We've got a green flag at the back, a green flag down the front, and the Fly Racing 15-second board getting ready to go up for the first time today. MX2 Race 1, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. The start is crucial, not just because it's wet and muddy, but because when you come out of that first turn, you've got that pinch point through the chicane where you can get held up as the riders that do make it through there up front can start to escape a little bit. The 5-second board turns, heads go down. Keep an eye on the gates here. A clean fall this time around. Kai de Wolf giving himself a lot of room to work, but it's going to be Benistant, I think, over the foxhole shot line on his return from injury, his first race back. Benistant leads on the Monster Energy Yamaha. De Wolf there in 2nd, Elzinger 3rd, Sasha Koenen 4th, but taking a long time to clear his goggles. Oliver is next in 5th place, in fact. And look how heavy it is coming out of turn 4 in the background. One or two areas here will start to open up, but it's going to be slick there. The rider in yellow, Sasha Coonan, tiptoeing his way through that corner, emerges in 4th place. As Benistant leads the way. Slick track coming into these bottom corners here, where they've tried to work on the track as best they can to open it up, clear some of those ruts. Riders coming together there over that jump in the background. Sasha Coonan losing ground here on this opening lap. He's got Langenfelder behind him, so these two now fighting over 6th place. Langenfelder trying to nip up the inside. Everts there behind him in 8th position. Oriol Oliver getting out dragged by the 47 of Carlos Racelis as he moves up into 4th position. The Spaniard fights back though. Regains a place, locks in behind the 44 of Elzinga. But Thibault Benistant leads. Oh, they've been around pretty much the whole track, haven't they, to tidy things up? Well, they were able to do that during the MXE Junior race. Oh, a mistake there for the lead Red Bull KTM of Sasha Coonan. Or was it Langenfelder that made the mistake there? Might have been Zanki. It was Zanki, wasn't it? Zanki made the mistake. He rectified it. So many riders in yellow. Ah, Coonan coming in for goggles. No, decides to... Wow, that was a strange move there. Maybe that's the entry for the goggle lane right there at the beginning of pit lane this time around. But Sasha Coonan running into trouble, ran wide at that pit lane entrance. See where he emerges. But Benistant, 3 seconds clear on this opening lap from Kai de Wolf. Rick Elzinga in 3rd. Oliver is in 4th for WZ Racing. Racelis is in 5th place. Then we've got Langenfelder and Zanki in yellow for Team HRC, trying to barge his way down the inside of the German, who has been pretty rapid so far this weekend, the 516. Heading back in the opposite direction over the Monster Energy jump then. And Zanki having another look as they appear at turn 8, the left-hander here, at the start of that long 250-metre long wave section. Zanki in 7th place. Liam Everts just behind him. It's very sticky mud. Heavy when it sticks to the motorcycles, of course. Teams will have ways of preventing that, putting strips underneath the mud guards and spraying all kinds of stuff up there, but that can only last for so long. Oriol Oliver going after Racelis. These two fighting over 4th place at the moment. The Latvian, number 47 there. His teammate just ahead of him, Rick Elzinga. In fact, you got, all three Monster Energy Yamahas in the first 4 places at the moment, with Benistant leading the way, Elzinga in 3rd, and Racelis in 4th place. David Braceras looks across, and Lucas Coonan, wow, just before the wall jump there, gets up and over it, but he's down in 9th place now. A lot of work to do as De Wolf hanging on to that 2nd position. He knows as long as his teammate is behind him, he's going to be gaining ground in the championship, of course. So no need to challenge Thibault Benistant at the moment, although he's got that gap down to about 1.9 seconds. That's them heading in the opposite direction from this turn now. This being turn 5, that 180 left. So Lucas Coonan then with a lot of work to do. He's about 2 seconds behind Zanki. We'll keep an eye on the lap times. 2:01.5 compared to a 2:06 of Zanki. Lucas Coonan then up to 8th. He's already found his way past Liam Everts since overtaking David Braceras. We've got wave jellos here. That's just before the waves. So rider down, and it's Oliver that's gone down. So Oliver out of 5th place. As Lucas Coonan and his fellow countryman Liam Everts now move up a position. They're up into 7th and 8th place. And there's Zanke just ahead of the number 96. Stays a lot lower, defends that inside line. Yesterday they were high and wide around that wall jump, but some riders not wanting to take the risk just because of how slick and slippery it is. No one using the inside there at the moment in that right turn. But Lucas Koenen was rapid last time, but it was Everts who set the fastest sector 1 of the race so far this time around. All of a sudden it seems like Lucas Koenen, he just tensed up a little bit now that he's found his way past Everts, because Everts trying to rough him up, and he does a good job as well. And Koenen gets caught in neutral there as a result of the front wheel glancing past the gear changer there, the gear shift. So Everts on the charge, running it down the inside. So he's obviously grown a set of elbows overnight, Liam Everts, because he used them to good effect, didn't he, to find his way up into 7th place. And he now goes after Ferruccio Zanke. Watch this here, he was a couple of bike lengths back. Lucas Koenen tried to get across him. Everts says, no, I'm coming in. Used the bank there just to leg his way through. All of a sudden, Koenen thinks, I've got no power, is my chain gone? Jammed down the gear lever, found a gear, but he lost a position. Oliver re-emerging in 16th place after that fall through the waves. So a costly mistake for the WZ racer. But Ferruccio Zanke here, Team HRC, number 73. Arrived 10th place in the championship here this weekend. Dropped to 11th at the moment. Actually, he's still there in 10th place at the moment. But he's going after Langenfelder. The gap only 1.2 seconds between Langenfelder and 5th. Zanke in 6th. Two teammates here, Elzinger and Rachlis. Now they're 3rd and 4th place. Kaiser Wolf just ahead of them, going through the right-hander at pit lane. Yes, so Sasha Koenen, he came in for goggles. You clearly see the goggle lane entry there right at the beginning. Sometimes it's at the end. So when he went out, that was from about sort of, 5th, 6th place. He's now down in 19th place, Sasha Koenen. But Thibault Benistant, your Grand Prix winner here last year. First race back from injury. There was no sentiment involved in his decision to come back this weekend. But a 4th and a 1st for him. Benistant with the foxhole shot. But a good reaction there for De Wolf. But the rider in black, look, just had to balance that first turn. He used the bank to the outside as he hit that foxhole shot line. Thibault Benistant with 2 black plates now come the end of the race. Finding his way through traffic. De Wolf about 2.93 seconds further back. Looking good, isn't he? The 198. And nothing to worry about as well. He's not in the championship fight, so obviously feeling a little bit relaxed. Cool, calm and collected. Prunier is up in the 10th. He's found his way past Praceres. So the F&H Racing rider gaining ground. The 2 Yamaha teammates here, 44 and 47, Elzinger and Rachlis. Rachlis found himself into 3rd briefly, but Elzinger fighting for that 3rd place. But Everts with the fastest lap of the race last time around, 1:56.825. Everyone else ahead of him, 57s, 58s, or 59 in the case of Langenfelder. And Everts only about a second behind Ferruccio Zanke. And Zanke may have just disappeared here from that 6th place. Just looking on the splits. Comes into the turn. Oh, he disappears there, look, just behind Langenfelder. So Everts goes through. So Zanke then out of 6th place, re-emerges in 9th. But it's the fastest lap this time around for Simon Langenfelder, now that he's cleared And he's got a bit of clear track ahead of him. He's 6.5 seconds behind Carlos Reixeles. All of a sudden, his race seeming to come alive at the moment. 1:54.017. Kai de Wolf still about 1.5 seconds, 1.7 seconds behind Benistant. Just happy to mind his own business. His teammate is up into 7th now. Lucas Koenen. Not getting the start that he wanted, clearly. And he is about 20 seconds off the leaders at the moment, Thibault Benistant. Lucas Koenen. So de Wolf just picking his own lines, riding his own race, not getting into any scuffles with anybody. Benistant will always be the first to approach the back markers, and you can already see that de Wolf has now caught right onto the rear wheel of the Frenchman. And it's Wanalak from Thailand on the bump shaker machine, who is the first to get caught there on the 177. The rider on the KTM. What kind of response will we get from Thibault Benistant then? Because he knows that he's being caught here. Because you'll see the pit boards go out pretty much simultaneously. Nice line through that right-hander for de Wolf. Oh, I tell you what, Langenfelder and Everts. Everts pushing for that 5th place. So nothing in it then at the end of lap 6 between Thibault Benistant and Kai de Wolf. About 1.3 seconds. Just under 18 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Elsinger about 3.9 seconds further back in 3rd. Reixeles 4th, about 3 seconds behind his teammate. Then we've got Langenfelder and Everts. Those two separated by about 1.8. Then we've got Lucas Koenen, 7 seconds behind Everts. After those two had to come together, a bit of a shindig. And then Harp, Zanke and Prunier rounding out your top 10. Adamo in 11th, Carsmakers 12, McClellan in 13, Martinez 14, Oliver 15, Sasha Koenen picking off people, having come in for a goggle change. He's now up into, well, he was into 16th. He's just been passed by Jens Wolvort. Wolvort now 16. Sasha Koenen has fallen, I think, because he's now dropping down the order. Tuani's gone through. Chambers has gone through into 19th. Olsen into 20th place. So Sasha Koenen just losing a couple of places this time around. Just like it was a lap ago. Top 2 separated by a couple of bike lengths on the same part of the racetrack. But look how cool Kai de Wolf looks at the moment. Riding without pressure, knowing that he's got a good advantage over his teammate, knowing that he's extending his lead at the top of the championship if things stay as they are. He just looks like he's just cruising around, just waiting to bide his time, almost playing with Thibault Benistant at the moment. Is he, though? That's the question. Working our way towards the end of lap 7. Everybody improving their lap times this time around. A lot of best laps going in for riders on lap 6, all bar maybe 5 or 6 riders. But the circuit just starting to come to them now, just starting to dry out, just open up a little bit. 1.6 as they hit the line that time around, the gap between 1st and 2nd. This was the part of the racetrack where de Wolf went off yesterday, when the back end just snatched around on him. Again, not sure if it was because of a back marker. He was on a different line, maybe didn't see something under the trees, a rock or an edge or something. A very strange crash, and one that was massive, but one that he was lucky enough to walk away from. Sasha Koenen or Adamo. So Adamo down, pit lane, corner. Just got unseated, he goes down. Adamo now in 11th place. Meanwhile, see that flapping off the side of the chin guard there on the helmet of Kai de Wolf. His foam just coming undone. Nice pair of goggles there, might run out and get them after the race. Pulling the tear off there, de Wolf. Not too fussed about the flapping foam hanging off the side of the helmet. Elsinger closing in all of a sudden. and has been for a while, just slowly but surely chipping away at these two. 2.4 seconds separate the first three as we work our way towards the end of lap 8. Got a Monster Energy Yamaha leading a Nastan Husqvarna. And Elzinga there in third. And he goes down, Benistant, tips the front, through the the left-hander. Picks himself up, rejoins the race in third place. Is that just a lack of racing, just a little bit ring rusty, perhaps? Either way, De Wolf leads. Raceless just trying to sort his goggles out as well on the number 47. So all change then at the end of the lap. De Wolf, your new leader, 2 seconds clear of Elzinga. Benistant now third in black, his teammate behind him in fourth, and then Langenfelder lurking in the background, bringing Everts with him. Mikkel Harup, though, was the fastest lap of the race last time around, and by a considerable margin as well, in the 1:53.6 zone. 57 for De Wolf, 56 Elzinga. Watch this here, just up on the pegs, and in the end, just front end got away from him, and then he just came to a stop there. De Wolf took over the lead, Elzinga second. Benistant recovering well to maintain that third place. It's already starting to drop. Racialist to the tune of about 2 seconds. Langenfelder closing in though, look. Here he is, second rider in shot. The Red Bull Gas rider up on the pegs, locked and loaded onto the rear wheel of the 47, Raceless, as he looks to challenge for fourth place. Everts just behind him in yellow, in sixth place. Swings around the outside here, but not going to find his way through because those two lines come together. Raceless just needs to take a couple of deep breaths here. The ground underneath, what you can't see, yes, it's sticky, it's dirt, but there's a lot of rock in there as well. Very easy to lose the front wheel with this wet dirt on the wet rock. See it coming through there, look. On board here with Everts from our drone cam. 9 laps complete. First 6 riders over the line. Langenfelder just trying to leg his way through some of those deep ruts. There's Elzinga in second. Here's Benistant in black in third place. Racialist for the 5:16 of Langenfelder is next. Everts in yellow on the Red Bull KTM just behind. Kuhnen 9.3 seconds further back. Wondering what happened to that good start that eluded him clearly. Everts getting better drive than Langenfelder. Langenfelder getting a bit of a pickle through those waves there. And Everts up to fifth now. Doubling up onto the plateau as he goes in pursuit of Racialist, but almost tagging there with the back marker. Everts is in the mood here, isn't he? Why, isn't he just? Flies by the 47 of Racialist, moves up into fourth position. Two passes in the same lap for the number 72. Fancies a podium, doesn't he? And he's being told 3 more possible because he's only 9.5 seconds off the lead. We've still got 10 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Everts then. 1:56.3, the quickest of the first 4 riders that time around. De Wolf was a 1:57.1, 57.01 for Elzinga, 56.9 for Benistant. who's just ahead of Everts, who's just put a 56.3 on the table. No goggles though for Racialist as he's under pressure from Langenfelder. These two fighting over 5th position. Here's Lucas Kuhnen. He's got Harrop behind him. So those two not separated by much, and Harrop staying with the Nistan Husqvarna rider. Kuhnen 5.5 seconds behind Langenfelder. Was quicker than the German that time around. 201.4 for Langenfelder, 157.06 for Lucas Kuhnen. Oh, Harrop had to switch lines there from inside to outside. It almost paid off as they dropped in to the little right-hander, but then Harrop messes up on the exit of that turn 10. See how those ruts are just starting to shape up now, getting very, very deep and sticky. De Wolf continues to lead the way. Elzinger fences his chances though. Wolfort riding bullet as he gets lapped there in 18th place, I think. Oh, tell you what, he's getting pitched all the way through there, isn't he? The Dutch rider on that SB Racing KTM. Meanwhile, back through here as they return to the exit of turn 1 on the run towards the finish line. Lucas Kuhnen and Mikkel Harrop again separated by nothing as they hit the line in 7th and 8th place. The Belgian with his hands full. Can't relax at the moment, can he? If he goes wide, Harrop will be up the inside. If he goes too defensive, Harrop can pick and choose where he wants to go on the racetrack. Benistant has been caught by Everts. These two fighting over 3rd place now. And Everts getting good drive again through the waves. So Everts then, all over the back of Benistant. Benistant just setting his best lap of the race. Lisa Leyland is getting ready to join us from pit lane as Everts goes through. Takes a position away from Thibault Benistant, parks him inadvertently through that turn. Everts now up in the 3rd. Ah, Elzinger in 2nd. He's still got 7 minutes plus 2. He's in that 2nd position. How long can that machine last for? How hard has he been working that machine as well in these kind of conditions? Anyway, let's go down to Lisa and keep an eye on this situation as well.
Harry, it was a difficult start for Liam there, and this is a really difficult track to pass on, especially with the heavy mud like that. But he's come alive, he's got some fire in his belly now. He's just made another pass as well. Conditions clearly suiting him.
Liam always enjoys the mud, and he's such a technical rider, standing up on the pegs all the time, and these conditions definitely suit him.
Just a quick word about Adamo and Kuhnen. Tough race for them.
Yeah, they both didn't have the best of starts, and a couple of crashes is not helping the race.
Best of luck to the team. Thanks, Harry.
Liam Everts then continues to pursue Rick Elzinger. Mikkel Harrop. Harrop is down in the right-hander there. That's just after the wall jump in the right-hand turn. So he has lost that 8th place. That gives Lucas Kuhnen a bit of breathing space now, though, doesn't it? Because all of a sudden he was being harassed and harangued by the Dane. Couldn't relax, couldn't switch off, and now he's got nobody behind him. He's already to within 1.7 seconds of Racialist and looking to pick up the 6th place if he can, and maybe even more because Langenfelder not much further up the track. Only 6 seconds, but 5.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go around here. One mistake, you can gain or lose a massive amount of time if you're not careful. But Everts is riding very, very confidently at the moment in these conditions, isn't he? The number 72. Here's your race leader, Kai de Wolf. He's now 5.3 seconds clear of Rick Elzinger. A good, mature ride this from de Wolf, actually. But how much of this was down to that good start, because good start up front, just able to settle into the rhythm of the race. Not like Lucas Koenen here, who is still having a fight. He was 43 points down in the championship chase before the start of the race. He's going to be picking up just 14 points. He's going to lose 11 to De Wolf this time around. Can't afford to give that amount of points away to the teammate who is on pretty much sort of level terms in terms of equal machinery. They've led a similar amount of laps. They've had similar amount of pole positions, you know, to within one of each other. Race wins, Lucas has 12. Kai De Wolf on the verge of taking his 11th race win. Grand Prix wins the same, 6 for both of them. Been on the podium all but one time each. So pretty much evenly matched, apart from the points at the top of the championship table. But Langenfelder already into the left-hander before the waves as we look at Lucas Koenen here. And Liam Everts getting closer to Elzinga. Are the mechanics concerned that there's no steam now coming out of that motorcycle? But either way, Everts sandwiched between the two Monster Energy Yamahas. This was a lap ago, look. Little plume of smoke out of the pipe there as well, as that thing starts to heat up even more. 3 minutes to go. Can he hold it there? Can he just score points? Be amazing if he can get there second or third. Everts looking to go around the outside. He knows Elzinga may have a slight problem, so mindful not to be right behind him wheel to wheel. And Elzinga knows he's there. He's riding defensive, tightening up, and well, Everts, we know how big his elbows are in this first race. Didn't even need to get him out this time around as he moves into second position. Oof, jab the knee there. So Everts now up into second, Elzinga third. He's got his teammate Thibault Benistant right there behind him. Look, the 198 in fourth position. Langenfelder about 8 or 9 seconds further back. So Elzinga now on the ropes, protecting that third place from his teammate Thibault Benistant, who made that simple fall from the lead. But is the bike just starting to tighten up here of Elzinga? Difficult to know, isn't it? Harp and Zanke have found a way past Raceless. Raceless has fallen. Yeah, and Elzinga, he pulls up the side of the track. The bike eventually goes, and he's out of third and out of the race. Heartbreak for Elzinga. Thibault Benistant then gets promoted to a podium race finish. The bum shaker of Yerewanalak, sampling this Swiss chocolate of the filthy kind. Just getting cross-rutted there. Tell you what, he almost hooked himself on the Maltesers there as well, didn't he? With the handlebar. But it's going to be 3 laps to go, because it's not going to take 35 seconds to get from here to the finish line for Kai De Wolf. Decides to throw the goggles here, Lucas Koenen. Koenen up in the 5th position. But 3 to go for De Wolf. Everts has caught him though. All of a sudden, we have got a race on here. The Dutchman versus the Belgian. Everts is very much in his flow. Been in cruise mode for the last few laps, just like he was at the end of race 1 in the Netherlands a week ago, where Lucas Koenen caught him, but wasn't able to execute the pass. But with 3 laps to go, just under, Everts has plenty of time up his sleeve. And when you're all in full flight mode like this, where everything you hit is turned into gold. And Kai de Wolf has just been sat there in cruise mode, and now he has to pick up the pace. He is the one in danger of making the mistakes as he tries to rush things to stay ahead and maintain that lead. Great ride this from Everts. Back marker here for de Wolf to deal with. That allow Everts to close right back in on the rear wheel of the Nissan Husqvarna. Keep as far away from the back marker as possible. You don't know if they're going to get offline when they jump or not. Lucas Koenen here. Oh, he tiptoes in. Is he going to lose a position? Yes, he is. Harp around the outside. He'll get better drive through the waves. Ah, tell you what, Koenen did not need that. He just got himself into fifth. Going to lose another point to his teammate in the championship chase. Two to go. Separated by less than a second, de Wolf and Everts. Benistant hanging on to fifth. He's about 5 seconds further back. He's 7 clear of Langenfelder. But the battle for the lead between Kai de Wolf, the championship leader, and Liam Everts, fourth in the championship chase. Ferruccio Zanchi having a good ride here in 7th position. He is closing in on Koenen, isn't he? So the Team HRC rider, the Italian, number 73, up on the pegs. You know what, he's been methodically chipping away, hasn't he? And Everts through the waves alongside, almost, the number 74 of Kai de Wolf. Can't see how long and how deep those ruts are after those waves and after that ram jump as well. De Wolf having a fight here. Ambjornsen trying to stay out of the way and does so. Neither of the two leaders decide to jump there just in case. But Everts within touching distance of a race win. These two definitely pushing up the pace. Everts down the inside. Shows de Wolf half a wheel. Can't make the move happen though. Venneken's next in 20th place. Just ahead of him, about to go a lap down on his gas. He's got his goggles off. Pay attention, leader's gone through. Everts drawing the short straw with the back markers through that turn. But he's got good drive through here, hasn't he? He's opened this corner up nicely and doing everything he can to get back on terms with de Wolf. Into the final lap then. Both riders in the 56s, almost immaculate times. The front end folding there on de Wolf. He had to have a dab there with the left leg to keep himself upright. And again, Everts looking to find a way past. He's had a couple of laps now to figure out de Wolf what he's doing. He's got good speed around here, but it's the long way round. Wow, Lucas Koenen. That might be costly in the end. See what's happened, can't you? He's gone off, he's come out of the turn and gone off and had nowhere to go. Anyway, Everts not close enough at the end of this straight this time around. His position of his toes just on the balls of his feet there, on the pegs at the end of that straight, even here as he sets himself up for that little uphill step. He was close a lap ago through here, but it's not going to happen at the moment. But it's not for the lack of trying for the number 72. He thought about the inside last time around, didn't work, so he's going to match him line for line just to use that same momentum through that turn. De Wolf will go defensive here. That might open up the corner for Everts, and it does. There's back markers again here. Emil Weckman on the 125. He'll stay out of the way. You can see the blue flags there, up high. But Everts, the finish line just behind us, 3-4 corners from now. Can he get up the inside? He was quick through here a lap ago. He's going to have to go wide and cut back to the inside here, if he can. But De Wolf is on his line. Through the chicane for the final time. Kai De Wolf wins race 1 here in Switzerland. Everts second. The two riders separated by about a second. And for Kai De Wolf, his 11th race win of the season. Langenfelder will be a distant 4th as he comes in behind Thibault Benistant, who's already over the line. Kai De Wolf with his 16th race victory, career race victory. But De Wolf hanging on then. And we wait to see how the points shape up. We wait to see where Lucas Koenen crosses the line. Everts barely breaking a sweat, but you know that he came so close, but was so far in the end. Just having a word with himself there. Discards of the peak sort of shield, the peak cover there, the visor cover. But our first 8 riders are over the line. Good ride for Quentin Prunier. We've not seen him actually. Canton in 9th place. But anyway, Lisa Leyland is down with Kai De Wolf. He put his best lap in on the final lap whilst he was under pressure. His 7th win of the season. His 10th win of the season.
Kai De Wolf, congratulations. You were in cruise mode for pretty much all of that race until 3 laps to go when the pressure was on. You dealt with that pressure very well.
Liam was closing me down, and yeah, like you hear, Roops also said it's meaning a lot, this one, because I mean, we have had pain this morning, and I mean, I have one thing to say: what's pain? Can you eat that? Just, I don't know. I just keep fighting, and it's not over until it's over.
Great comeback, Kai. Thank you.
Kai De Wolf picking himself up after his Ram qualifying race win yesterday. Battered, bruised, but not down and out. Recovers for victory in race 1, his 11th race win of the season. And he now moves 53 points clear of his teammate as we head into race 2. See exactly what it meant to him. You heard what it meant to Ruben Tureleur. Let's take a look at the highlights of that first MX2 race. Gates dropped in for the first race here in Switzerland. Kai De Wolf getting a good jump, but not as good as Thibault Benistant over the Fox Holeshot line for the 2nd time this season on his first race back from injury. And that back in France at round 7. De Wolf was there in 2nd, Elzinga was in 3rd. Sascha Koenen was in 4th place, but he immediately ran into goggle trouble as the 51 of Oriol Oliver went by. Then Sascha Koenen fell, re-emerged, but what a tussle this was here. Everts down the inside, knocked Koenen into neutral, Lucas Koenen. Thibault Benistant fell from the lead shortly after that, but Everts was already up into 7th position and making more inroads. This pass here on Langenfelder got him up into 5th on lap 10, and then he quickly made his way past the 47 to move into 4th. Of course, that Carlos Racialis. Then Benistant as he moved into 3rd on lap 12. Found his way onto the rear wheel of Rick Elzinga and gained a position right there as well. Elzinga's bike gave up with a few laps to go, and Elzinga at that point was in 3rd, and then he was out of the race. That promoted his teammate to 3rd. Lucas Koenen then had issues in that corner. That allowed Harp through. Harp then moved into 5th. That was with 3 laps to go. This is how tight it was, heading round the final couple of corners between De Wolf and Liam Everts. The two separated by just over a second as they hit the line at the end of 18 laps of racing. De Wolf, a winner for the 11th time this year. Give me the results then, shall we? Kai De Wolf picks up victory in race number 1 from Liam Everts and Thibault Benistant. Not a bad return for your first race back for Benistant. Langenfelder and Hart ran out the top 5. Lucas Kuhnen will be kicking himself after a poor start to come home in 6th ahead of Ferruccio Zanchi. A good ride for the Italian. And Carlos Reichless, who fell towards the end of the race down to 8th. Quentin Prunier 9 and Camden McClellan 10. And we had Adamo, Oliver, Iago Martinez on the TM. Good for the Spaniard. Cars makers Sasha Kuhnen and Jack Chambers. Jens Wolvort, Federico Tawani, Emil Weckman and Leopold Ambjornsen still riding with a lot of fluid on his knee. Take a look at the foxhole shot, shall we? We know by now who it was, and it was the Monster Energy Yamaha of 198, Thibault Benistant. Over the line for the 2nd time this year. His first came in race 1, Lugo. Christian Batic, the Fox dealer, on hand to deliver the black plate to Thibault Benistant. Sasha Kuhnen has already won that particular competition. So a modest crowd in there. Scorchio hot yesterday, a little bit cooler today by about 10 or 12 degrees. Let's take a look at some of the best moments, shall we? And when we return, it will be with the MXGP Race 1. MX2 Race 1, join us in about 2 minutes from now for MXGP Race 1. We'll see you then.